Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. In this video we're gonna go over how to print the star triangle pattern. I'm gonna start by showing you the pseudocode and the thinking process for this example, and then we're gonna move on for the implementation in different programming languages. This is the star pattern that we're aiming for. The way we approach this problem is thinking that we have to print each line by itself. We also take into account that each line, one star is added. Let's take a look at this pattern with a 2D axis. You can start noticing that the y-axis can be done with a for loop. As for the j-axis, it can also be done with a for loop, but it's a little bit more complex than the I loop. We can also notice that whenever I increases by 1, j matches that. J is the number of stars we have, whilst I is the number of rows we have. We can conclude from this that the number j never exceeds I in this case. Now our pseudocode is gonna look something like this. We start by creating our variables, in this case n, I and j, taking input from the user and storing it in n. This will be how many lines or rows the user wants, and then setting I and j both equal to 0. The second step would be initializing two for loops, one with the variable I and the other one with j. They both start at 0 as we have initialized them, and increment +1. Now i's limit would be n, which is the amount of rows we want, and if you pay close attention, j's limit is I itself. We then proceed to print the character that we want to build the pyramid with, or the triangle. In this case it's the asterisk, and we simply write print once inside the j loop, because the j loop is responsible for writing it many times, so we only need to include one print statement inside of it. Now outside of the j loop, but inside the I loop, we're gonna print the \n character, which essentially takes the cursor and goes down one line so we can print on a newer line. Some programming languages have that built in their print methods, but others don't have that, so we have to manually do that. And now I'm gonna show you the implementation in Python, Java, C++, C, and JavaScript. Now for Python there are two ways to implement this. The first one uses the double loops, which you will see in the other languages. The second method requires us to multiply the output inside of the print method. Both methods yield the same result, so feel free to use whichever you like. Now for C++, we just have to remember to initialize our function above the main function, or create it up there, or unless you don't want to create a function, you can just type it inside of the main function. Other than that, it's very close to the pseudocode with the double for loops and the input and the output. Now for C, other than the small differences in the input and the output, it's the same as C++. Now for JavaScript, unlike the other languages, there is no clear way to use multiple print statements to print characters on a single line. So we're gonna have to combine all the characters we wanna print for each line in a variable, and then log the variable for JavaScript. And finally for Java, we're gonna have to input and create a scanner for the user input. Other than that, it's the same as the other languages with the double for loops and the print statements. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.